bipartisan bill. Actually, thousands of sex abuse victims sue for damages, including those molested by a University of Michigan sports physician. It's the second time since 2018 legislators may overhaul laws in the wake of a major abuse scandal. Under the new measures, victims of the late Dr. Robert Anderson and others would get additional time to bring lawsuits. Government entities couldn't use the immunity defense if they knew or should have known of prior sexual misconduct and did not intervene. The House Oversight Committee will hold an initial hearing on Thursday. It's a deal in Lansing as the governor signs a budget giving home health care workers a raise and a bonus to those who work in daycare workers is a $1,000 one-time payment. And here's the governor.
This budget expands low or no-cost childcare to 105,000 more Michigan kids. We know that there are a lot of parents who are trying to get back into the workforce, but they need that support for their children.
The plans also include new tuition-free assistance for adults ages 25 and up and frontline workers, and nearly $200 million to fix crumbling bridges. The governor followed through on her vow to declare unconstitutional language to prevent health departments from mandating anti-COVID measures like school mask mandates. She vetoed $16 million in anti-abortion measures. Addicted to the Michigan lottery has been sentenced to more than 4 years in prison for a scheme that cost investors more than $23 million. Victor Gionaj of Troy told people he was plowing their money into real estate deals. Instead, he was playing the Daily 3 and Daily 4 games more than $1 million a week by 2019. Gionaj believed he had discovered a guaranteed way to win huge jackpots. Instead, he wound up with a felony conviction. Federal Judge Linda Parker sentenced him to 53 months in federal prison. WSGW News Time 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSG forecast. Patchy fog possible in spots early today. Otherwise, sunny skies and light winds. Highs top out near 71 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear. Lows drop to 49. Winds east around 5 miles per hour. Friday, lots more sunshine. Highs warm into the middle 70s. Friday night, increasing clouds. Lows fall back to 57. Saturday, partly sunny. Chance for afternoon showers. Highs reach 77. And then Saturday night, shower chances continue. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and lows head down to 60. I'm meteorologist Phil Jensko with the WSGW Weatherology forecast.
Right now, it's 47.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you and welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Later on this morning, we're going to talk after the 10 o'clock news about the Antique Toy and Fire Museum in Bay City. On Focus this morning, we will focus on the Dow Tennis Classic coming up soon. But for this hour, we're going to talk about your health, your safety, medications, and things of that nature, with a couple of very special guests from an organization called THRIVE. And we're going to find out about that this morning. From our guest, first of all, we say good morning to Dr. Sasha Savage. Doctor, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. Thanks for having me on the show.
And you are the Chief Medical Officer of THRIVE, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And a program consultant with the Michigan Health Improvement Alliance. And we say good morning to Dr. Mark Kato. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
We're doing well. I think before we get into our the nuts and bolts, the meat of the topic, we need to learn more about THRIVE. What is THRIVE? Where is it? And how did it come about?
I'll start with that, Art. So THRIVE is an acronym, stands for Transforming Health Regionally in a Vibrant Economy. And essentially, THRIVE is a portfolio of action focused in the region on improving the health and prosperity of all the citizens in the Great Lakes Bay region and beyond. It is the compilation of two organizations that came together, the Michigan Health Improvement Alliance and the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, there was a lot of vision upstream, seeing that the region would benefit substantially from a portfolio of interventions that would really bring about those two major elements of health and prosperity. And so the leadership from both organizations came together and created the portfolio, and it's off and running.
And located where? Is it Freeland?
Right.
Is it right?
Yep, right here in the Great Lakes Bay region. MiHIA is a local product, as is the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance. So yes.
Well, talk a little bit, Mark, about MiHIA. What is the Michigan Health Improvement Alliance?
Yes. So the Michigan Health Improvement Alliance, as Sasha alluded to, we work on various population health initiatives throughout the region. So looking at diabetes prevention, we have a regional opioid strategy to reduce overdoses and prescribing, and the initiative that I'm working on, which is called Arm for Health, achieving the right medications for health, reducing medication overload in our aging population. We have a blanket of initiatives that we're doing to improve health.
I have to ask, you bring up medications, and I am certainly in that older population at 78 and have my pill closet like everybody else. Have we become, Sasha, a pill-dependent society? We expect that our health will be fixed in those little brown vials.
Yeah, Art, that's a great question. I do think that there is a bit of a mindset that there's an old adage, the pill for every ill, right? That if we aren't feeling well, a pill is going to fix that. I may be giving away my age a little bit here, but I've been practicing for almost a quarter century. I have really realized that, we use a lot of medications, and many times there are safer ways to do things and simpler ways to do things than just adding more medication.
But if we as a society put the demands on the medical profession, when I go into your office, I expect to get a little prescription.
Yep.
Take care of everything that ails me.
Yeah, that's right. And that's really a challenge, within the realms of medical care. We care very much about what the people seeking our expertise are looking for, what they're hoping for, and what they're wanting. And there is a fairly strong societal expectation that you come to see Dr. Savage in his clinic, you're going to walk away with a medication. That's a hard thing to push back against. But we are beginning that very process. I would say we're not just beginning it, we're well into that, because we now know from decades of experience how much adverse drug interactions can negatively impact not just individuals, but families and communities.
Yet, Mark, you watch television, every other ad tells you to go into your doctor and demand this drug or that drug or some other drug. 20 seconds of how it'll save you, 40 seconds of how it'll kill you, but still go ask your doctor for it, right?
That's correct.
How do we get around that?
I think it has to do a lot with educating patients with someone that they trust, someone like Sasha, your primary care provider. And so it's really having that conversation between you and your physician, and then your pharmacist, the person that's dispensing those medications. They're very highly educated. They understand the interactions, and they have that complete list in front of them of what you're taking and what impacts it can have. So it's really about engaging those that are caring for you.
So, what effect has the pandemic had on Thrive's efforts?
Yeah.
You want to take that, Mark?
Yeah, I was going to say it's definitely had a shift in focus, right? Assisting, local healthcare organizations and any efforts that they need. But really, it's forced us to look at some other avenues of outreach. So, being able to come on here today with you and get that voice out to the patient, utilizing Zoom, being more creative with some of our partners, whether it's Zoom information, Facebook, live sessions, whatever we need to do. It's just changed that avenue of approach and getting information out there more so than anything.
And
So
Art, Oh,
Please go ahead, Sasha.
I was just going to add to that. If anything, the COVID experience has accelerated our recognition of how badly not just the Great Lakes Bay region, but really the whole country needs efforts like Thrive, where we essentially invite all the stakeholders to the table and say, guys, let's redesign our society, our community. We have seen more exposure of some of the things that we're living right on the edge, right? We're talking now about moving into a space of not just a COVID pandemic, but a loneliness pandemic. And that is just uncovering a lot of the things that probably are not well in society that we can do so much better.
So as you look at society today and you look at Thrive's mission, what's number one? What's on top of the list that needs to be addressed?
Oh boy. Our two pillars are health and prosperity. And I think because those are our two pillars, the recognition is that there is no one single thing that can be done. And that's a really hard answer, Art, to your question, because a lot of people like the simplicity of, dare I say, the pill for every ill, right? Hey, society's broken. Give us one answer. We don't have one answer. The whole Thrive portfolio focuses on right now 34 interventions that are in various stages of implementation, because we know that it takes that type of a massive scale to actually move the needles of health and prosperity. I would say probably the biggest effort underway right now is awareness of what each and every individual in the community can do in order to play their part.
You use an interesting word, though, intervention. To a lot of people, that's a scary word. What do you mean by, when you say intervention, what do you mean by it?
Can I tell you a brief? I'll tell you a brief story. And this is maybe off the beaten path a little bit, but during the pandemic, I have a patient of mine. Maybe she's listening. I don't know, but I'm not going to use her name. Her name, I will call her Anne. Anne is in her 80s, and she has a lot of medical problems. And I started to notice how loneliness began to deeply creep into her day in, day out life, to the point that I had no more medical solutions for her. So one day I offered her, this is, I guess, the intervention, how simple I think it can be and why we're calling all people to the table. I asked her, I said, boy, my wife leads youth in our church and they love to sing. I think it could be good medicine for your soul, Anne, if they came and you like gospel music, would you like them to come sing? Well, that kicked off something really special. There is now a friendship there. Twice a month, they go over and they sing. My wife has lunch with her. There are abilities for everyone to intervene, or rather I say, just get involved. Let your heart guide you, because there's a lot of good that can be done.
That's a great story. And I think as individuals, when someone intervenes in our behalf one-on-one, that's a set of circumstances. When an organization tells me they're going to intervene, my defense may go up.
Yeah, so
hang on to those thoughts. I got to take a break. Hang on to those thoughts. We'll come back. I'll bring it up again, talk more about it.
Okay.
We're talking to Dr. Sasha Savage. Sasha is the medical director of Thrive. And from the Michigan Health Improvement Alliance, we have Dr. Mark Kato with us this morning. We'll be back with our guests after these notes on the Art Lewis Show.
If your family depends on your income and something happened to you, what would happen to them? You need life insurance, and SelectQuote can help you get it at a price you can afford.
SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, who's in excellent health, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $19 a month.
Not in perfect health? Don't worry.
SelectQuote found Tanya, 40, who has type 2 diabetes, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $32 a month.
We shop companies like Protective, Prudential, American General, and others to find you the company with the best rates. Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford. For your free quote, call 1-800-519-0449. That's 1-800-519-0449. Or go to selectquote.com. That's 1-800-519-0449. Select Quote. We shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Vaccines are not enough. If you think vaccines alone will protect you from COVID-19, think again. Monitor regularly for fever, as it's the leading sign of COVID-19. Use Exergen, the only thermometer scientifically proven to detect fever. Protect yourself and your family with Exergen Temporal Scanner. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar. Pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Economists were predicting an improvement in the job market last week. It didn't happen. The number of new claims for unemployment benefits rose by 11,000 to 362,000. Continuing claims, those still receiving benefits, did decline to 2.8 million. It was the first report including all states where extended benefits ended. And there's an update on the spring economy. The second quarter GDP was stronger than expected. The economy expanded at a 6.7% pace. Merck is confirming that Acceleron Pharma, a company that makes treatments for rare diseases. CarMax shares are losing ground. Though its sales rose to a record in the summer quarter, Wall Street was hoping for a higher earnings number. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
Any supplier can drop a box outside your door. But if you want a partner who delivers great customer service too, rely on Cintas. Your dedicated service reps can deliver what you need to help your business run smoothly. From essential cleaning products to hygienically fire protection services to first aid and safety supplies. That service you can't get from a box.
Oh, I'm ready!
Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
So the dream was to build your very own law practice, be your own boss, call all the shots. But have things like billing, HR, timekeeping, and all the other management stuff turned your dream into a nightmare? Take charge of your practice with Lexicon. We're the intersection of practice management software and legal support services for your firm. You'll get more billable and livable hours back. Lexicon marks the spot for all your practice management needs. Visit lexiconservices.com/intersection to get the whole story or schedule a demo.
New surveys show that Americans don't think vaccines are enough to protect themselves and others from COVID-19. 80% want thermometers used in public places to screen for COVID-19, and 36% know that non-contact devices are inaccurate. Use Exergen at home, at work, and in public. It's the only thermometer proven accurate by more than 100 published clinical studies. Look at Exergen.com.
Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
They give it to Haskins. Haskins rolls over left guard. Touchdown, Michigan!
It's a Big Ten road test as the Michigan Wolverines visit the Wisconsin Badgers Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking about your medical safety and your health and other issues surrounding it with our guest from Thrive. Dr. Sasha Savage is the medical director and a program consultant for the Michigan Health Improvement Alliance. Dr. Mark Kato is with us this morning. So before the break, I posed the question. It's one thing to have an intervention one-on-one, It's another thing for an organization to tell me they're going to intervene and my defenses rise immediately. Where are we with that? What's your response to it?
Yeah. No, I was going to say, so when I think about the term intervention, I most closely align it with initiative. So intervention is something I think we talk about a lot in the medical community, maybe surgical, or what we're talking about, medications. We're going to intervene and treat an ailment, right? So really, it's more broadly utilized for our scope of various initiatives. So addressing food insecurities within our region. We know the concept of food deserts, where we lack the availability to healthy foods, whether or not a grocery store or market's open. But how can then we take that and collaborate and partner with others so that we can bring those resources back to the community? So really, our interventions are centered on how we can best partner and be that integrator with other agencies throughout our area, just so that we can, more closely align with the needs of the community.
Yeah. I probably would have chosen a different word, but that's me.
Fair enough.
I know one of the issues, there's something called AIDS, adverse drug events. Where are we with those? And I have to believe that adverse drug events, because of our dependence on drugs, medications, what have you, are pretty commonplace. Is that true?
Yeah, they sure are. The statistics across the country predict that if status quo is maintained, we'll lose 150,000 Americans over the next decade to just adverse drug events, interactions, and inappropriate utilization. So when you start looking at the overall cost of things in terms of the increased hospitalizations, number of doctors' visits to address the untoward side effects, you're looking at a price tag of about $60 billion over the next year. And that's pretty hefty, especially when taken not just merely in monetary costs, but in what it means to people.
I mean, that's the 40 seconds of the TV commercial. It tells you all the bad things that can happen to you.
Yeah.
I have to ask this because it's often amused me, the fact that we go to someone like yourself, Dr. Savage, we pay you for your advice, and then we go home and immediately ignore it, for which we're paid for that advice. And I imagine it's also true with drugs and how much we should take and how often we should take them.
Yeah, that's true. We in the medical profession try really hard to do what we call zero harm care, which is be on the highest level of our prescribing and dispensing of knowledge around these medications. But we are human, and to err is human, is the old saying. So we recognize that in order to get to that safest level, you need aligned efforts across large geographic territories. And you had asked earlier, Art, what are some of the interventions, or I like Mark's word, initiative, right? We've worked to bring the healthcare systems to the table. We have wonderful healthcare systems in this region with exceptional leadership. They all have their eye on this very same thing of zero harm. And so, when we recognize a large scope of adverse drug events and we see what our opportunities are, our opportunities really center in redesigning processes that center on the patient first and on safety as a near second, the safety being to protect that patient at all costs. And so there's a lot of work in this space that is going on right now with the hope that we can move the needle on some of these really undesirable numbers.
Yeah, and Mark, as a program consultant, you mentioned the word opioid earlier. Is it a crisis? I mean, we often hear opioid crisis. Is it at that point, and what's the alternative?
Yeah, so we have a very robust regional strategy in combating overdoses, particularly when it comes to opioids. We have a quick response team that one of my colleagues oversees, where they collaborate with multiple community partners. So, not just providers, but substance abuse counselors, et cetera. So, opioids falls within what the overall scope of what we call Beer's List drugs. It's a list that was developed by the American Geriatric Society. And so it is one of those focuses within our Arm for Health work that we're doing because of those potentially adverse side effects. So I think most people, when they hear the word opioids, they think about overdoses, et cetera. But even just taking it for managed pain, you can have adverse side effects, which lead to those adverse drug events, maybe a fall, medical side effects, et cetera. So I think when we start talking about that type of drug, I mean, we have to think about it more holistically than just an overdose. And if I am taking this medication, what are those potential side effects, even if it is for, an acute pain episode?
So, Dr. Savage, a patient comes to you with pain. Have you changed the way you prescribe? Because
100%. Yeah, 100%. So the reality is, I remember distinctly being told when I was in medical school, this was in the early 90s, that opioids could not cause addiction if they were prescribed for appropriate pain. We now know that was 100% wrong. They can be used judiciously, but judiciously or not, they can actually cause dependence regardless. We know this now. So the grand majority of us are very, very deeply changed in terms of how we prescribe. So, for example, if you go to the emergency room, the most you're going to get in terms of, hey, I need a pain pill for a few days, will be 3 days worth of medication. You come to me, I'm doing everything I can to get you off of those opiates and onto something more sustainable, usually lifestyle driven. There are absolute ways to do that. And that's another initiative that is underway with Thrive is how do you create non-pharmacologic means for dealing with pain? So we are neck deep in that kind of initiative as well, trying to work on expanding physical therapy, chiropractic, other type of maybe non-pharmacologic approaches to pain.
Would you agree with me that, of all the things driving me to a doctor where I want to fix right now, pain is going to be on the top of my list. If I have a cold, I have sniffles, I have allergies, okay, I'll come to you. I expect certain modalities and all of that. If I've got pain, I want an answer right now.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, Art. The thing with pain is a symptom. Pain, unfortunately, is not a diagnostic entity, meaning it's not a diagnosis in and of itself. And so pain has as many different approaches as there are causes for it. And so you're absolutely right. I would say that the most important thing that we as providers can do when people come to us with complaints of pain is listen. Listen and build trust and work collaboratively together, because I have found that when people feel listened to and cared for, they are very willing to trust. You had mentioned earlier that you pay good money and you go home and ignore the guidance, right? But where there are relationships of trust, we find that doesn't happen as often.
Yeah, and I know that to be a fact, just my relationship with my doctors.
Yeah.
Mark, one of the tenets of Thrive, as I understand it, one of the words used to describe it is prosperity. What's the prosperity element?
Yeah, so the prosperity element is led by our partner organization, the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, and so they're focused on economic development throughout the Great Lakes Bay region. And we know within healthcare, there's a term called SDOH, and that's social determinants of health. So if we don't have a prospering economy where people are gainfully employed with livable wages, they don't have access to affordable healthcare, affordable food, affordable exercise capabilities, etc. So one has to follow the other. And so when we look at prosperity, we're looking at growing together. And so we know we can attract organizations to our region, because if we have good healthcare with high quality scores that produces a very robust and healthy workforce, we can grow together. So you got to have one and another moving in concert.
All right, can you guys hang on for another segment?
Yeah, you bet.
Take a break. All right, we'll be right back. We're talking to our guests, Dr. Sasha Savage, and Dr. Savage is the medical director of Thrive, and Matt Kato. Dr. Kato is a program consultant with Michigan Health Improvement Alliance. We'll be back with them shortly. Let me tell you about the sponsor of the Art Lewis Show, Pinnacle Realty and Linda Shepard, located inside the Point in Saginaw. And new to the Point is Cafe 476, your new coffee shop with espresso, coffee, tea, bubbles, lemonades, smoothies, frozen yogurt. And one of those smoothies, by the way, is called the Art Lewis smoothie. It's chocolate, banana, and pineapple. By the way, delicious baked goods made fresh and local, donuts, pastries, danishes, just to name a few, and food items like their cherry almond chicken salad croissant. Like them on Facebook to get all the latest news from Cafe 476. The new Cafe 476 at the Point where M46 and M47 meet off Gratiot in Saginaw, the former ISD building. And if for all of your residential and commercial real estate needs, give Linda Shepard a call at Pinnacle Realty, 989-295-7713. Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. We'll be back with our guests right after these notes.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Vino Wine Warehouse. You're going to get a $30 gift certificate for the Vino Wine Warehouse Fall Festival for only $15. That's half off. The Vino Wine Warehouse features over 1,000 retail wine items, 16 draft craft beers, and a full liquor section. Modern menu. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This is Rachel from the SVRC Marketplace, located at 203 South Washington. Fall is officially here, and with chilly weather upon us, warm up inside with some of your American favorites, global flavors, sweet treats, and retail small businesses. Our farmers under our pavilion offer fresh goodies, pumpkins galore. Our all-year-round indoor market still remains Saginaw's favorites. What's that you say? New businesses are coming. We welcome Cop King and Bling & Jewels Boutique. Warm up inside the SVRC Marketplace, open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Join us for our SVRC Cornhole Fundraiser Tournament on October 9th with a $500 first prize winner. And come for some free family fun to our annual Halloween event on October 29th. Check us out on our Facebook page for all upcoming events. We thank of our small businesses. Remember to shop local, eat local, support small business, and we'll see you at the market.
Have you recently tested positive for COVID-19? You may be eligible for monoclonal antibody therapy, a treatment which could reduce your risk of hospitalization and death. If you are in a high-risk group and have had symptoms for less than 10 days, talk to your healthcare provider about this no-cost treatment. To learn more about COVID-19 antibody therapy, go to michigan.gov/COVID therapy. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
If your family depends on your income and something happened to you, what would happen to them? You need life insurance, and SelectQuote can help you get it at a price you can afford.
SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, who's in excellent health, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $19 a month.
Not in perfect health? Don't worry.
SelectQuote found Tanya, 40, who has type 2, $500,000 policy for only $32 a month.
We shop companies like Protective, Prudential, American General, and others to find you the company with the best rates. Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford.
For your free quote, call 1-800-519-0449. That's 1-800-519-0449. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-519-0449.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
People who are vaccinated are getting sick from COVID variants, and Americans have no end of questions and concerns. What we do know is that fever is the leading sign of COVID, so everyone needs an accurate thermometer. Exergen temporal scanner's accuracy is backed by more than 100 clinical studies, while non-contact devices have no supporting studies. Vaccines are not enough. Learn more at exergen.com.
Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
On air and online from the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
Back with you and back with my guest, Dr. Sasha Savage. He is the medical director of Thrive. And also with us is Dr. Mark Kato. He is a program consultant with the Michigan Health Improvement Alliance. One of the things that you're advocating is the role of the pharmacist in the healthcare system. I see a paradox there for seniors on Medicare, and I'll tell you why. Every year, just about this time, we're encouraged to look over our drug requirements, our pharmacies, and who's charging what, doing what. Look for the cheapest policy price and switch pharmacists. And many of the pharmacists today, unlike my doctor, if I come to you, Dr. Savage, I'm in your office, we're one-on-one, we spend time together, and I go back to you time and time again. You know my health, you know all of that. It seems we're into these mega pharmacies today. I have no idea who the pharmacist is. Matter of fact, I'm not sure of all the people behind the counter which one is the pharmacist sometimes. How do we get that relationship going? How does that pharmacist become part of my health regimen?
Yeah.
Well,
so,
I'll take a first stab at that. Mark, I think, is a real content expert on this and will bring a lot of additional insight. But Art, so for example, in my clinic, I serve as the medical director here at Mid-Michigan in our family practice center. We've been working so far very well with our executives to make that very case that you just made. I'm actually glad to hear that you feel that way too, that the face-to-face relationship development is important. So we actually have hired within our clinic a clinical pharmacist. She is wonderful. When we have people where we know that they are on too many medications and we're struggling to help identify the safest way to begin weaning them down and stopping some of them, we ask them to meet face-to-face with her. Her services are extraordinarily well received and have actually done a lot in terms of what we call de-prescribing, getting people off of some of these medications and into a healthier space. But that's not the only thing that we're doing today. And I think Mark is positioned to talk about some of the other engagements with pharmacists.
Yeah. So as part of our work we're doing with our Healthy Aging grant brought by the Michigan Health Endowment Fund, incorporating pharmacists into the care team is one of our core, initiatives. And so we were talking yesterday at our broader committee meeting for this grant. We had just finished an education session with one of our partners, the Midland Senior Services. And so that was the exact same question that a community member had is how do I engage my pharmacists? And the pharmacists are very willing. So if you go to the counter and encourage everybody, if you need a consultation, just say, can I speak to the pharmacist for a few minutes? They're more than willing and they're more than happy to take that time and help you understand your medications that you're taking, even if they're not dispensed by that location, but just to have that conversation because they want to make sure, as a customer and just as a patient that you're well taken care of. So we encourage you go into MiHIA, you go into CVS, Walgreens, say, can I have 5 minutes with that pharmacist?
So let me ask you this, both of you. Are my pharmaceutical records transferable? By that, I mean, if I were to switch pharmacy plans and go from pharmacy A to pharmacy B, and if I've been with pharmacy A for a while, they're going to know what I'm taking. They're going to know the interactions. When I go to pharmacy B, are they going to have all that information? Does all of that move as a portable file?
Yeah. And so that's something I can't say 100%. There are different software platforms that do monitor those transactions. But everybody's doing the best they can to make sure that's transferable. So there are different platforms, but that is something that's being worked on throughout the entire healthcare industry. So it's always best to, And so I always tell people, if you're not 100% sure, either engage your physician to take a printout from your electronic medical record, or at the end of the day, a piece of paper or worst case, your brown bag of medications, so that that's reconciled appropriately.
Sasha?
To your point, though, Art, that's one of the things that we as a nation, a healthcare industry, are working on. We realize there needs to be interoperability. The good news is today, I think we're better than ever before in that many of the major electronic medical or electronic health records are much more interoperable. And so you can see things across the entire country. As to whether pharmacies are doing that on that kind of full scale, I do not know yet. Like Mark said, there are a lot of different software platforms, but we are slowly getting there. So in the meantime, make sure you ask your physician or your provider for an active, updated copy of that list. And might I add one more thing, Art? For those where opportunity exists, sign up for what's called the patient portal. Most physicians today are actually offering out there, you can have essentially a direct link right into your chart. You can see your medications. You can message your physician. I tell my patients it's like they have me on speed dial or speed text.
Like
they use it. Yeah, they use it a lot. And they say, hey, by the way, doc, I'm not so sure I want this medication anymore. Can we get rid of that? Or by the way, I quit this one. It just keeps things very accurate.
It's interesting you bring that up. I have my chart and I do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I go for lab tests, I get them before the doc does sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that's a good idea, but I look at them anyway. Hang on, guys. One more break, and then we'll be back to close out with our special guest today here on the Art Lewis Show.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to when you buy gas. Use promo code TIME for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code TIME for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TIME.
Attorney Joe Cordell. New school, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Research shows people remember radio ads that remind them of the past. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's an ad that'll really take you back.
Back in my day, I heard a voice from the radio say, Liberty, my home insurance, so I only pay for what I need. I'm getting on in years now, but heavens to Betsy, there are some things an old fella like me just never forgets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out because when you find the perfect home, you don't want to lose it to anybody else. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers and their agents greater confidence. We've already helped over 1 million clients just like you reach their home financing goals this year alone. So remember this. What can help you buy the home you really want? Rocket can. Go to rocketmortgage.com or call us today at 8338-ROCKET. That's rocketmortgage.com. 8338-ROCKET.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information appraisal and title report. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, I guess we'll try to make sense of it all. That is a very, very difficult job. We will have fun.
Markley Van
Days at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with our guest, Dr. Sasha Savage. He is the medical director of Thrive and also a clinician at Mid-Michigan, where he's the medical director of their family practice. Also with us is program consultant Dr. Mark Kato with the Michigan Medical Improvement Alliance. And I have to ask where folks can get information about Thrive and about the various programs you're involved in. How do they do that?
Yeah, so there's a couple different avenues. Easiest is on the web, so at MiHIA.org and ThriveGreatLakesBay.org. You can see the different initiatives, who we're partnering with, and find all sorts of information on the work we're doing.
Dr. Savage, what is the, let me look at my computer here to make sure I get the term right. Polypharmacy, is that, I have that right?
Yeah. Polypharmacy is a term that really just means, multiple medications, but we use it in the medical industry to indicate when we think maybe there is too much use of medication. And in the in our citizens kind of later in the stages of life, we know that too many medications that even may have been okay for a person 5, 10, 20 years ago are no longer going to be safe because the kidneys don't work as well or the liver doesn't clear things out as easily. And so polypharmacy is a term really designed at indicating we're concerned that you're on too much medication. And ideally, that's some of the healthy aging grant Mark has been referencing. We're working on getting people onto fewer medications.
How do you do that when those medications ostensibly are helping to keep them alive? In fact, I mean, they're addressing type 2 diabetes with metformin and all those things, and the list of drugs goes on forever.
Yeah, I had a wonderful meeting. Mark and I both did with the Covenant Healthcare System, a lot of their primary care docs, Great Lakes Bay Health Centers and their providers, asking that very question. How do we do that? There are tools out there that help guide providers through that delicate process because we recognize that those medications that are vital or important probably are ones that we're not really going to look to get away from. If you have certain conditions, you're right. There's some medications that are helping to keep you alive or at least give you greater quality of life. But then there are some others that are probably optional or some that are on board that are not helpful at all. And so we typically try to attach a real meaningful diagnosis to any medication that is being used. And if there isn't a good, meaningful diagnosis, that's one of the very first ones that we look at. So we do have a triage platform that we follow to be very, very careful in that process.
Well, guys, listen, this is it's been fascinating for me, and I hope for the audience. I thank you very much for joining us. I hope people will follow what you're doing, and I hope your interventions are successful. Mark, thank you for spending time with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Art.
Dr. Savage, a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
You're more than welcome. Let's plan on doing it again sometime. Thanks a lot.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Dr. Sasha Savage, he is the medical director for Thrive, and Mark is the program consultant for MiHIA, which is the Michigan Health Improvement Alliance. And we thank them for being with us this morning on the Art Lewis Show. We'll take a break, come back, and we will close out the hour after these notes.
Listen up. Scotland Transportation, a family-owned company in Alma, is now hiring OTR regional truck drivers. Make $100K first year, hourly with overtime, and enjoy a set schedule. Out 5 days, home 2 days with a $3 an hour weekend premium. 1 year experience necessary, CDLA required. Hazmat tanker endorsement preferred, but if not, Scotland will pay for until a company match retirement plan, paid vacations and holidays, and more. 89-463-4242. Come drive for Scotland.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
So the dream was to build your very own law practice. Be your own boss, call all the shots. But have things like billing, HR, timekeeping, and all the other management stuff turned your dream into a nightmare? Take charge of your practice with Lexicon. We're the intersection of practice management software and legal support services for your firm. You'll get more billable and livable hours back. Lexicon marks the spot for all your practice management needs. Visit lexiconservices.com/intersection and get the whole story or schedule a demo.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with British accents. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, take it from a Brit.
Oi, barmy insurance bloke touching dosh out your pocket. It's barmy. Liberty Mutual won't leave you skint, mate.
Can you just say Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance you need?
I think that's what I said, you blooming.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Heading up toward the top of the hour, news from CBS and the local report, bringing you up to date on the region. Then we'll be back to talk about the Antique Toy and Fire Museum, all ahead this morning.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The House and Senate are set to vote on a new funding agreement reached in the Senate last night to keep the government in the money past midnight. The GOP's John Cornyn.
Shut down the government. Republicans don't want to shut down the government.
The measure would fund operations through December 3rd, averting furloughs for 800,000 federal employees. President Biden's legislative agenda is another matter. The House could act on a bipartisan infrastructure bill today, but many Democrats still say they'll vote no. White House correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Liberals in the House say they're prepared to defeat the physical infrastructure bill if it's actually put up for a vote. Speaker Pelosi could pull it from the floor, and she just might. The progressives say they won't support the $1.2 trillion measure, chock full of President Biden's priorities, because at the moment, there's no sign the Senate would agree to trillions. For weeks, Mr. Biden has been directly engaging two Senate moderates, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, in an effort to win them over.
Some Americans who evacuated Afghanistan only to be held up elsewhere are now U.S. bound. Correspondent Cammie McCormick has details from the Pentagon.
This group had flown to the United Arab Emirates, where they said the U.S. Homeland Security Department denied them landing rights here in the U.S., but now they're headed here. The State Department said it had verified the accuracy of the passenger manifest. A nonprofit group had chartered the flight that included U.S. citizens and some Afghans who worked with the U.S. government during the war.
A new sign the Delta variant may be slow. Bankrate's Mark Hamrick.
Negative surprise alert. New jobless claims have risen for a third straight week, surging by 11,000 to 362,000.
Hiring slowed down in August. Restaurants and bars cut almost 42,000 jobs for the first drop this year. If you're worried about an out-of-the-ordinary mark or bump on your skin, check in with your doctor, not your cell phone. Your CBS's Jim Krasula.
Two leading apps touted as being up to 95% effective in detecting skin cancers incorrectly classified rare and aggressive cancers as low risk. That's according to a new study from researchers in England. They conclude apps available to the public without transparent information on their accuracy is ethically questionable.
A warning about turn signals.
Get the 2016 Sonata for just $1.
Hyundai and Kia are recalling more than 500,000 cars and minivans because the signals flash in the opposite direction of what drivers intend. The manufacturer blames a software issue and says it doesn't know of any crashes or injuries associated with the problem. Dow up 100. This is CBS News.
Indeed helps find great hires fast. Indeed is your all-in-one platform for interviewing, screening, and hiring high-quality people. Visit credit.
This is Pat Johnston from the WSGW Morning Team Show. Week 4 of the NFL season is here, and FanDuel Sportsbook wants you to get the most out of every play. That's why they're giving everyone a $10 risk-free bet every week. And this Thursday night's game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cincinnati Bengals is a great opportunity to give it a try. All you have to do is bet a same-game parlay bet with 3 legs or more, and if your bet doesn't win, FanDuel will pay you back up to $10. New to FanDuel Sportsbook, also claim your 30-1 odds on either team to win the Sunday night game between Tampa Bay and New England. Just sign up with promo code WSGW, and if your first bet loses, $1,000 back in site credit. That's promo code WSGW so they know I sent you. Must be 21 and present in Michigan. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Same game parlay available in multiple sports in all states on mobile and web. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. But like any air filter, the more clogged up it gets, the less it works. So how? I'm Martin Hoke, and I didn't invent nasal irrigation. The neti pot's been around thousands of years. But I did invent Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion, or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage has over 70,000 online reviews averaging 4.7 stars because it works and it's easy to use. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Now available with eucalyptus for a spa-like experience. Navage. And a clean nose, healthy life.
Hi, Mike.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
We're doing well. I'll be with you right after the news.
Okay.
And during the breaks, I turn the video off, so don't panic.
Oh, no problem.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Partly cloudy skies and 55 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Purchad. Police have found a man wanted for questioning in the suspicious death of his wife. Around 3:30 p.m. Wednesday, officers were sent to the 3800 block of Lamplighter Drive to do a well-being check on a woman there. When officers arrived, they found the woman, identified as 49-year-old Shantina Davenport Mitchell, dead in her home. Detectives found 43-year-old Lonnie Ray Mitchell Jr. in Flint this morning. They continue to investigate the case. Saginaw firefighters responded to a house fire just before 2 this morning. The blaze caused to the house at 3334 Fulton. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation. An 8th grade cross-country runner got more than she bargained for during a meet on Saturday at Delta College. 13-year-old Madison Sylvester, a student at Saginaw Township's White Pine Middle School, was running the trails during the meet when a fully grown doe crashed into her, knocking her to the ground. Sylvester is about 5 feet tall and around 100 pounds. She was only half a mile away from finishing the 2-mile race when the crash occurred. She suffered a fractured collarbone and a concussion and was treated at a local urgent care. She will be unable to compete for a few weeks in order to heal, but expects to be able to run at a meet on October 30th. Tickets for the 33rd Dow Tennis Classic, scheduled for November 1st through the 7th, will be available starting tomorrow. The event will begin with qualifying matches October 31st before the main draw competition kicks off November 1st. Singles and doubles main draw action will continue through the week, with the WTA 125 singles final taking place November 7th. General admission seating for the featured matches is available for $15 for adults and people 17 and under receiving free admission. For those looking to get a little closer to the action, club seats featuring padded chairs and reserve seating are also available for $30 or $65 with included dining and drinks. Visit DowTennisClassic.com for more information. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Tired of living paycheck to paycheck? What if it didn't take years or even months to dramatically improve your net worth? What if you could do it virtually overnight? I'm not talking about the lottery. I'm talking about proven financial secrets used by the mega rich to build their massive fortunes. Once only available to an exclusive club of billionaires, this secret is now, for the very first time, available to you. Any ordinary person can use this powerful information to build massive wealth. It's like a financial wormhole. You know, something that moves you from one side of the universe to the other in the blink of an eye. But in this case, it's moving you from barely paying your bills to financial freedom in a snap. Learn more at financialwormholes.com. Get off the paycheck to paycheck hamster wheel and start enjoying life like the mega rich. Go to financialwormholes.com. It costs you nothing, but it changes everything. Do it today, and tomorrow you could start living the good life. Financialwormholes.com. That's financialwormholes.com.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Ford's new investment in Kentucky brings up an interesting issue when it comes to the UAW. Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert has this report.
Workers at battery plants tend to make lower wages and so far haven't been unionized. No car maker wants to be first, says Kristen Dichek of the Center for Auto Research, because they don't want to be at a competitive disadvantage. The wild card is the Biden administration.
The Biden administration is clearly signaling and working on policies that support this transition to electrification being one that provides high-paying union jobs.
Ford will hire 11,000 workers for the new plants.
The Michigan Public Service Commission today announced it's postponing a public hearing on Consumers Energy long-range plan for providing electric service set for this afternoon at Saginaw Valley State University out of an abundance of caution because employees of the commission potentially were exposed to COVID-19. The hearing was the first of two public meetings at which commissioners were to hear customer input on Consumers Energy's integrated resource plan, outlining the utility's plans for delivering electricity to its residential and business customers in Michigan. Instead, the commission will reschedule the in-person hearing for later dates. It does plan to proceed, however, with the second virtual public hearing set for next Monday, with public participation available through video conference and phone. The video conference is available through Microsoft Teams. Those who wish to make comments are encouraged to pre-register online. WSGW News Time, 10:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for today with a high in the low 70s. Winds will be rather calm. And then for tonight, mostly clear skies. We'll see a low around 49. Friday, sunshine, high around 76 degrees. Then by Saturday, plenty of blue skies and sunshine with a high around 77. Sunday, a chance for rain showers here. Cloudy sky conditions, high around 71 degrees. Then by Monday, mostly cloudy skies, a high of 67. Tuesday, partial sunshine, a high of 66. And Wednesday, partly sunny, high around 67. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 54.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you. Welcome to the second hour of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Nice to be with you today. We're going to talk about an attraction in this area. It's been around for some time, and one that I'm particularly fond of for a very specific reason that I'll talk about. We're going to talk about the Antique Toy and Fire Truck Museum on Patterson in Bay City. And we welcome to the program Mike Snyder. Mike, good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Art, and thanks for having me join you today.
Well, thanks for being with us. I think we probably need to go back to the beginning and Mr. Hobson and how the museum got its footing and how it got started.
Sure. So Jim Dobson, well-known businessman in Bay City, at the end of the Korean War, started to develop an interest because of his background in the volunteer fire service in buying and collecting large-scale, actual-scale fire trucks. And throughout the years, that collection grew to almost 106 units, I think, at the top of the collection. It's now 60 trucks as we're working on curating and maintaining. And along the way, he also developed an affinity for collecting first response toys. So police cars, fire trucks, ambulances, and other things. And so that collection is now about 14,000 toys, all curated right now in about a 12,000 square foot museum. Much as you said, a little bit of the undiscovered gem in the Tri-City area, but our fundamental thematics are toys and fire apparatus in the history and supporting, our recollection of that for the first response community.
And we should mention, just to clarify, when we talk about fire trucks, we're not talking about models. We're talking, there are models, but these are full scale. These are the originals. These are the apparatus, which brings me to what I said at the beginning about something close and dear to my heart. I'm a New Yorker. I was around the New York area when the super pumper hit the streets in the 60s. And I remember the New York City Fire Department super pumper very well, having actually seen it close up and in action a couple of times. And then a number of years ago, I met Jim at the Fire Museum, and much to my surprise, I was standing next to the super pumper that I remembered. How in the world did he ever get the New York City super pumper?
So it's an interesting story. The super pumper was taken out of service in 1982. It served from 1965 to 1982. Right. And there were a variety of reasons. We won't go into the great details other than the city of New York was in a bit of a financial crisis. This was a very expensive system to maintain, and the decision was to stop the operation. And so the unit was held in reserve. So it was used for special events. It actually was shipped down to Norfolk to do some work with the naval operations and doing some water pumping. And then it came back to New York City in 1988. And it basically went through a scrapping process. And both this unit and its support unit called the Super Tender ended up, essentially in a salvage yard. Jim was very fortunate, Jim Dobson, in being able to quickly acquire that in 1989 and bring that into the museum. As you can imagine, something that is taken out of service and it sits outside for a period of time. The unit was in not pristine condition, mechanically all there, but we have been able to preserve it and actually are now starting to work on restoration efforts. And that's an interesting journey, but ultimately we would like to be able to pump water with that truck at local festivals, say like the Bay City Fireworks Festival. That's the vision. Recognize that this is a behemoth. You've seen it. Anyone who comes to the museum, it's a fireboat on wheels, and it is a very intricate mechanical system with a diesel engine and a very, very large pump that pumps 8,800 gallons per minute of water. And we're working on going through the mechanical systems here. We have the operations and maintenance manuals, and so we have a group of volunteers that are very active and very passionate about that, and a number of other fire trucks that we've been bringing back to life.
So let's talk about the museum. First of all, its physical location. I mentioned Patterson.
Correct. 3456 Patterson Road. So that's just off the intersection of Wilder Road, right before you get to the Independence Bridge.
And what are the hours? Can the public visit the museum?
Oh, absolutely. We are open every Saturday from noon to 4. And we also accommodate tours and scheduled visits. And this is still in our response to COVID. We have public hours that are controlled. But if you just drop us an email at info@toyandfiretruckmuseum.org, we'll get a docent lined up for you, for your family, your group, and really do that any other day we can get a docent lined up. So, we try to be open from about May 1st through the middle of November. And then we really have to kind of close down for the winter months. And we'll talk a little bit about our new location that's going to give us a broader operating window.
That was my next question, because I had heard a while back that the museum was looking to relocate. So what's the status?
Okay. So we've been blessed by getting ownership of Bay City's old fire station number 3. And when I say old, I'm talking 1890 fire station on Washington Avenue, 113 Washington Avenue, really just south of the Bay City Hall. That was in service from 1890 to 1917. And so what we've done is, right, if you think about it, stopped being a fire station in 1917 all the way through about 2017, for about 100 years, there were lots of things done and added to that building. So we've now, as you drive by, you'll start to see the fact that all of the old, the stuff that was added has been removed. And now we're getting our final engineering drawings so that we can start the construction this winter. And we should be moving into that sometime early to midsummer of 2022.
All right. So typically a firehouse holds 2 to 3 pieces of apparatus.
Correct.
You got 60 plus all those toys.
Correct.
You're building a big building.
So what we're doing is the building itself is deceivingly large. It's very large. It looks from the frontage as it's a small building. It's exceptionally deep. So we will have 9 pieces of apparatus on a rotating basis. And one of the beauties of having now apparatus that can run and drive is the movement of those from Patterson Road to the Washington Avenue location will be not simple, but logistically much simpler than if you had to tow or trailer them. The second and third story total give us about 7,000 square feet of display area. And so much of the collection, particularly of the smaller objects and historical items, we'll be able to make the move in their entirety. And then we'll just selectively rotate the apparatus. The super pumper that we talked about, that will always be there. That's kind of the iconic center of the collection. But we have really apparatus between the ones we own and the ones that are on long-term loan that range from 1854 all the way through 1993.
Wow. I was another reason of my interest. I was a volunteer firefighter in New Jersey for more than 7 years, and I drove many of those old pieces of apparatus. I remember some of them very well. We had in my fire department, the truck that I spent most of my time on was a Mack C85F pumper.
Okay, absolutely.
Where they paid to take the cab off because the chief wanted a parade truck. So you can imagine in New Jersey in the wintertime in a snow scene, heading to a fire with an open cab truck.
It's not the most fun. Now, interestingly, the super pumper was actually produced by Mack.
Yeah,
a lot of components that were not Mack components, but they were the integrator. And we have apparatus that goes.
The part was a Mack, wasn't it?
Correct. And actually, the rest of the things on the back have Mack labels, but they came from other sources.
Yeah, quite a piece of equipment. Hang on, we got to take a break. Talking to Mike Snyder about the Antique Toy and Fire Truck Museum in Bay City. And we'll have more on that when we return after these notes.
Now at Menards, save big money in your next project with 11% off everything. Valvoline Daily Protection Motor Oil protect all types of deposits and temperatures to keep engines clean. Right now, pick up a quart for only $2.99 after 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through October 2nd. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards. RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Vino Wine Warehouse. You're going to get a $30 gift certificate for the Vino Wine Warehouse Fall Festival for only $15. That's half off. The Vino Wine Warehouse features over 1,000 retail wine items, 16 draft craft beers, and a full liquor section with a unique modern menu. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Did you get all the stimulus money for you and your family? Do you have children and didn't know you could receive monthly child tax credit payment? You can claim your monthly child tax credit payments and missing stimulus payments, even if you don't file a traditional tax return. Visit ssa.gov/EIP to learn how you can apply online. Get the money your family deserves. Visit ssa.gov/EIP. Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
This back-to-school update is presented by the Exergen Temporal Scanner. How do you make masks fun for your kids? Here's CBS News senior medical correspondent, Dr. Tara Narula.
The best mask, most experts will say, is the one that your child will wear. So getting them involved in that choice, picking out the colors and styles they like, or letting them decorate it is always a good thing.
The leading sign of COVID is fever, so everyone needs an accurate thermometer. Try the Exergen Temporal Scanner and learn more at Exergen.com.
I'm Connell McShane. This is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened higher, though there's on new claims for unemployment benefits. More people were signing up last week. New claims rose by 11,000 to 362,000, apparently led by increases in California and Michigan, with extended benefits having expired in all states. Continuing claims declined to 2.8 million. Bed Bath & Beyond is lowering its forecast for the year. The chain is seeing slower traffic into its stores because of the Delta variant and is also dealing with supply chain issues. Hyundai and Kia are recalling more than 500,000 cars and minivans in the U.S. for a turn signal issue. The signal can flash in the opposite direction of what the driver intended. Hyundai says it's a software issue of not properly interpreting signals. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Guys, Untuckit agrees it's finally time. Time to update our closets with new clothes we actually want to. Going back to the office or choosing a new way to work. Time to enjoy the best of fall, like long walks in the park and hot coffee on a brisk day. And that means it's time to look sharp and feel comfortable all day with Untuckit. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Discover the perfect fitting shirt today at untuckit.com. Use promo code TIME for 20% off your first purchase at untuckit.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
He's in the left center. Rounding third, heading home is Nico Goodrum. Castro on his way to third, and he will make it easily down to second. Goes Akil Badu, and the Tigers take a 1-0 lead.
The Tigers play 7:20 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Back with you and our special guest, Mike Snyder from the Antique Toy and Fire Truck Museum in Bay City. So, Mike, I have to ask the elephant in the room, how is all this supported? How are you funded?
So it's really a combination of streams that we have. Obviously, by public participation and attending the museum, we have a slight entrance and admission fee. We have a number of active members who donate a fee each year so that they can be actively in the membership area there. And then we also have a number of very generous donors who are supporting different aspects of the museum. So, for example, particularly as we go to the new location, we're really formalizing our STEM program, science, technology, engineering, and math, where we take things like water flow and pressure and even the old fire alarm system, the Gainwell system, and looking at basic electric circuitry for children. And again, it's cool because it's fire service, but yet it's enriching in math and science. And we were able to get grant funding to do that. Plus the fact that we are entirely volunteer. So our expense structure is exceptionally low. Those two things work well together, and we're able to deliver, again, I think really a unique experience for people who come to visit or interface with our programs.
So let's talk about membership for a minute. Where can someone find out about that?
Right. So on our both on our Facebook page as well as our webpage, which is toyandfiretruckmuseum.org, you can get an application for membership. If you also just drop an email or message us on Facebook, we'll get you that direct information back. But it is really the investment of people within the Great Lakes Bay region that keep this moving. Mr. Dobson had the vision of collecting these materials, and now it's really kind of our obligation to, kind of keep that moving forward. We are a 501c3 foundation, so any contribution or membership that is made is fully tax deductible.
You also mentioned volunteers earlier. What types of volunteers do you use? What are you looking for?
I mean, we really will take the gamut of them. People who would enjoy being docents, in other words, museum tour guides. I have volunteers who are helping us on our social media, web, and videographic, photographic area who have no background in fire trucks but love that kind of part. And then we obviously need people who are very mechanically inclined to help us with both systems. So for example, we have to maintain a Gainwell fire alarm system as well as the apparatus. And I mean, we have people from their 20s to their 80s who are helping us in this area. And I would just say that everyone who comes and works with us here doesn't act their age. They act like the child that's kind of embodied in them there, and have lots of passion and energy for that. There's nothing more exciting than taking, for example, a piece of apparatus that may have sat somewhere for 50 years, and over the process of several weeks or months, transition to something that first runs, then it drives, and then it pumps. It's hard to express that. And if anybody has background and interest there, we use you a day a week, a day a month, a day a year. We can kind of work through that. But it's that body of volunteers that really is keeping this museum thriving.
Now, the Patterson location will still be around. But when you have the new location downtown, will the Patterson location close to the public?
So the Patterson location will change its mission. So it will become now more of archive and a dedicated maintenance operation. One of the challenges that our team has right now is if we start working on maintaining a truck or restoring a truck, we have to kind of move trucks around so that we can get it to the place that's there. And, if you have a truck, for example, that doesn't run currently, moving it is a little bit of a Herculean task. This will give us really more room that we can deal with that. Now, at the Patterson Road facility, we also partner with the Saginaw River Marine Historical Society. So they're the people who own the Rear Range Lighthouse, but they have a large number of other artifacts that just aren't able to be stored anywhere. And so we have a really good display that they prepared for the MV Jupiter, and that's the ship that burned in 1990 on the Saginaw River, as well as a Defoe yacht that was a kit yacht, where Defoe would, in 1915, you could order up a kind of like a Craftsman home. You could order up a yacht, it would be boxed and shipped to you, and you'd build it. And this one is one that was built in Washington, D.C., and after 4 generations of family ownership, it was donated to the Saginaw River Historical and Marine Society. And so we have the footprint to help display those. And so we partner with them because our missions are very similar.
When you move, will the Marine Museum display be available to the public?
Absolutely. So, we will have specific events. Like, for example, we just completed our 9/11 memorial, which also includes the 9/16 memorialization of the Jupiter event. So those are very large events that we jointly sponsor and deal with and open to the public for extended periods of time. There will be parts of that display that will end up as the Rear Range Lighthouse becomes open, as it's restored to the public in the next year. But there will still be some that, again, say a researcher or a family wants to do something very particular about one of our pieces of apparatus or our artifacts that haven't made it to Washington Avenue. Obviously, we would support and open the museum to do that.
What's your time frame for Washington Avenue?
We would hope to, we'll do a soft launch and open, I'm guessing probably in early June. And that's just, we've worked through the permits and the engineering. We have a couple of details yet with a couple of last minute financing pieces, but we're going to be ready to start the formal construction here within the next 30 to 60 days. And then that could be done. One of the nice things is, since the structure there is in very good condition, and it's a shell, it's actually a nice environment to do winter construction.
Yeah. All right. Again, tell everybody where they can get more information.
Yep. So, either on Facebook, they can just look at Antique Toy and Fire Truck Museum, and that will be there, and they can sign up and we'll get them information, or our website, which is www.toyandfiretruckmuseum.org. And either way, our volunteers will get that information and whatever they would like to do, or even arrange a phone call to have an additional conversation.
Mike, listen, thanks for spending some time with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Excellent.
We get closer to the Washington Avenue location. Let's do it again.
Not a problem. I thank you very much for your time.
You're more than welcome. Take care of the treasure you have there.
I promise we will.
Good deal. Thanks.
All right. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Mike Snyder, and he is with the Michigan Antique Toy and Fire Truck Museum. Up on Patterson Road, started by Mr. Dobson many, many years ago. I spent some time with him there. Fascinating place. And, as kids, we all have stars in our eyes with fire trucks and things of that nature. And this museum is a great place to relive some of that history, I'll tell you. It's really quite wonderful. We're going to take a break and then come back. And from this point forward, we will have open phones on the Art Lewis Show right after these notes.
RocketGrabPlus.com. The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are always here to give you the deals that you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Fat Matt's Barbecue, Joyce's Purple Palette, Kitchen Kings, Third Gen Tire and Service Center, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Michigan. It's time to play Lie or Law. Lie or Law. Drivers must allow at least 3 feet when passing bike riders. It's the state law. Bike riders must ride in the direction of traffic. It's a state law. If anyone tells you different, it's a lie. Know the law, and remember, it's everybody's road, everybody's rules. Sponsored by the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
At Golden Harvest, our best skill is knowing how to listen. From our Gold Series soybean and game-changing corn portfolios to our expert insights housed in the Illuminate digital agronomy platform, everything we offer is an answer to what we've heard from you. This is how we listen.
Copyright 2021 Syngenta. The trademarks or service marks used herein are the property of a Syngenta Group company. All other trademarks are the property of their respective owners.
Golden Harvest also listens to your seed financing needs and offers savings available now. Ask your local seed advisor how to order early and save more this year. Farmers can enroll in Golden Advantage, a zero-interest, extended terms offer for your seed purchase. Learn more at goldenharvestseeds.com/Golden Advantage and reach out to your local seed advisor today. That's goldenharvestseeds.com/Golden Advantage.
If you think the COVID vaccine alone will protect you from the coronavirus, think again. As the deadly disease breaks through to people who are vaccinated, it's critical to take a reliable temperature reading with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's the only thermometer whose accuracy has been proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Vaccines are not enough, and thermometer accuracy matters. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
Research shows people remember radio ads that remind them of the past. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay. Here's an ad that'll really take you back.
Back in my day, I heard a voice from the radio say, Liberty Mutual customizes my home insurance so I only pay for what I need. I'm getting on in years now, but heavens to Betsy, there are some things an old fella like me just never forgets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Attorney Joe Cordell. New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. 7365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook. Download and get started with a risk-free bet of up to $5,000 and earn reward credits for sports tickets, dining, getaways, and more with every bet. Win or lose. Your app is ready, Emperor. T&C apply. Must be 21 plus.
You're in the Stone Specialist Studios. This is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, back with you. Our thanks to Mike Snyder for being with us from the Michigan Antique Toy and Fire Truck Museum. We'll have more with him down the road as they get closer to opening their Washington Street location in Bay City, Washington Avenue. Open phones for the remainder of the hour, 752-6111, or toll free inside the state of Michigan, 866-790-WSGW, outside the state, 989-752-6111. So what tops the news today? Well, does it appear that government is going to shut down at least for the next few months. Apparently, the Senate and the House have come to agreement on the passage of what's called a continuing resolution. This will allow government to continue to be funded at current levels through early December. What is not part of this, that the Democrats were hoping to have as part of it, is increasing the debt ceiling. Republicans are staunchly against it, given the nature of the spending plans on the table that are being considered by the Democrats, the $3.5 trillion family infrastructure proposal in particular. Not so much the hard infrastructure, the $1.2 trillion. That one, they would like to see that passed. It's bipartisan support. But the Republicans have put their foot down and said, no, until we come to some understanding on the debt ceiling, we're not going to vote for it. What happens if they don't? Well, then at some point in time this next month, the government will run out of the ability to sell its debt and won't be able to incur any more debt. How that would technically function, I'm not a highfalutin economist or finance guy, so I can't tell you. All I know is without the debt ceiling, it puts the government in a rather difficult position, to say the least. So that's one of the things that's sitting out there. Here is a headline. This should, as silly as this may seem, you know, we've talked the last few days about prices, food prices, things of that nature. Here is a headline that says it all in terms of the current state of the economy, supply chain, wholesale pricing, all of that. Dollar Tree, and you know there are dollar stores everywhere. Dollar Tree is among the biggest, Dollar General, and the list goes on and on and on. Dollar Tree has announced it is going to sell more items above $1 as costs rise. Could be $1.25, could be $1.50 for the same item you paid $1 for. Because supply chain and wholesale prices are quickly rising. And there are some who work in the supply chain industry that are warning of a system collapse, partially because of the pandemic and worker shortages. But when you see a store like Dollar Tree telling you things are going to cost more than $1, that's to tell you what's coming. The Biden administration and Pelosi continue to tell us their $3.5 trillion package will be zero gain, cost nothing. Biden continues to tell us, and Jen Psaki, as press secretary, no one making less than $400,000 a year will see their taxes go up. Well, they're totally wrong, and we all know that. If you're going to raise corporate taxes, corporations are going to pass that on. Inflation is one of those hidden taxes, and right now, inflation is going to eat us out of house and home. Prices at the store are through the roof when you can find the items. And it's no joke. If you're going to shop for Christmas, you better do it now, because come time for Christmas, there may not be anything on the shelves. And we've seen chains like Costco say they are going to limit the sale of certain items, like for toilet paper, for example. Has always been that item that we tend to hoard when we feel insecure. they're going to start limiting the sale of those items. So, I mean, hold on to your wallet, folks. It's not getting any better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Mark is in Prescott. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
Fine.
Hey, Millie is getting questions on the Hill as far as the withdrawal and so forth, the generals are.
Yeah.
And it turns out that there was, he was promoting, or not promoting, that was Woodward's book, but he was cited in the book, and he was cited on the news stations about the book. 13 souls were lost during the withdrawal. Do you think he'll donate the proceeds to the Gold Star families for the money he's going to make off that book under his watch?
Probably not. Now, I don't know if he does donate to Gold Star families or not. Maybe he does. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not happy with the guy.
Well, there's a lot not to be happy with that's happening around us right now, and it happened in Afghanistan. And there's probably a ton of blame to go around to a lot of people. It's not just one guy that does it, but the focus falls on one or two. But there are so many people involved. Yeah. And, are we ever going to really know the truth? If we assume that they went before Congress and told the absolute truth, then where does that put Joe Biden? Because he didn't tell us the truth. And it's it's a difficult situation. However, the question is a valid one in this regard. Will anybody be held accountable for, say, those deaths that occurred when we mistakenly bombed the aid in Afghanistan? Will there be accountability for the way the withdrawal was handled? I'll tell you the accountability I see, and the only accountability I see, is probably going to be at the polling place when you and I go to vote.
Right.
And that's the accountability.
Hey, so my next thing is Haiti, with the Haiti being on an island just off of Jamaica.
Yeah, how did everybody get
What's that?
How did they get here?
Yeah, how come the Coast Guard isn't picking up this armada of rafts of the thousands that you would think would be coming over?
Because they're in international waters and they're not coming to the United States. They're going elsewhere and then winding their way through the land to get to the U.S. border.
Because I've been to Jamaica 5 or 6 times, and that's a lot of water to cover over an
Yeah.
airplane. I can't imagine on a raft.
Yeah, I can't either, but I guess when you're desperate, you do what desperation calls for. So there you go. All right. Hey, Mark, thanks. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye-bye now. Take a break. Come back. We'll get to Chris and Saginaw when we return.
Motown legends, the Temptations, the Four Tops. Saturday night, November 27th at Resort. Temps and Tops together again. Tickets start at $34. On sale now at the Soaring Eagle at Eagles Landing box offices or online at etix.com. T&T together again. The legendary Motown sound, November 27th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
Just my imagination. Ain't no woman like the one I got.
Spend part of Thanksgiving weekend with the Temps and Tops at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
The way you do the things you do, the way you do, oh baby, I need your love.
Motown's Fab Five and Temptations and Four Tops. Tickets on sale now. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio, like where this ad plays. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Yes, radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
This view was worth a hike.
Right? And it's a good way to stay on top of my health.
Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option. Plus, at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most dollars. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
Tom Sullivan, weeknights at 7 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Chris is in Saginaw. Chris, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. In reference to your discussion on the debt and increasing the debt ceiling, they haven't been unable to do, and they've got a temporary, and if they don't get that, they'd be in a world of hurt. Guess what? They have put us in a world of hurt with the inflation and the upcoming taxes that they're going to give us. And I have no sympathy for them whatsoever, okay? Second of all, when they talk about taxing the corporations, who are the corporations?
Us.
Is there some guy out there named corporation?
No.
It's all of us going to get it, okay?
Corporations don't pay taxes. People do.
That's correct. They must think that we're a bunch of babbling idiots, okay? Yeah, it just mind that they're doing all this. But anyways, hopefully they can hold strong, and hopefully a couple of the Democrats are going to vote against that $3.whatever trillion. Hang in there. Okay? But it's going to be nasty. It is really going to be nasty.
It already is.
That's all I got.
All right, Chris.
It is.
Thanks a lot.
Take it easy, Art.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. And we'll say good morning to Marcellus in Saginaw. Marcellus, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
We're doing well.
Hadn't talked to you in a while. Just been listening.
Well, glad you're there.
I want to talk about what you were talking about earlier about, taxing. Who's going to get taxed? Who's going to pay the bill? And, because I'm tired of hearing people talk about Republican this, Democrat that, too much garbage spread. And after your show, I turn the radio off. But I, like you were saying about, they're talking about making the rich pay more. We are going to pay the cost. We got to pay. We're the ones who's going to pay in the long run for this.
Absolutely.
So people need to listen to you in the morning when you talk about things like this, and let stand go. Let the Democrats and Republicans fight it out among themselves. We need to think about our economy. We need to think about, people need to be, like you said, tighten up on their purse string, because in November, December, it's going to cost. So I just wanted to make that statement, and I was listening to you, and that made me just want to make that statement, just kind of reiterate what you're saying and agree with what you're saying. People need to pay attention to what's happening in our economy right now, in our community. We're going to pay the bill.
And they're not going to have a choice, because they're going to feel it when they go to the store. They're going to be paying attention because they have to.
Especially the Dollar Tree talking about going up.
Yeah, even a quarter or half a buck at a store that only charges $1. That's a 50% increase.
Yeah, you're going to run in that store to get what you normally get for $1. They're going to say $1.50. Then you're going to be upset about that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So I just appreciate what those local things that you bring out. I appreciate the fact that you're trying to get people to understand, Republicans and Democrats up there in the big houses, they're going to do what they want to do, but we need to be paying attention to what's happening in our local economy, in our community.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
thank you for the comments, and you keep on doing that. You got my support 100%. And like I said, when your show go off.
All right, Marcellus, we appreciate it. Thanks for being with us.
All right.
Bye-bye
Have
now.
a good one. All right.
I'll tell you what, I see that my buddy Mike Snyder is still sitting at his computer. He's been listening to the show. I want to go back to Mike here for a minute if he's still available. You still there, Mike?
Yeah, I'm still here, Art.
You've been watching patiently.
Oh, no problem.
How has the economy affected things like museums and like yours? Has it had an impact?
So I would say in general, and it's a combination of economy and COVID. I would say attendance, and this is true across all of the museum sectors, are down. And there have been a lot of longstanding historical museums that have gone out of business, right? And again, our view is that they had an expense structure that didn't keep track with what's going on, and that's why we're just being real sensitive about our investments and really the use of volunteers. And again, if people have less, say, available funds to pay for fuel and for admission, they're going to be less apt to go to a museum, which I think is viewed very discretionarily.
Have you had any trouble getting volunteers? I mean, businesses are looking for labor like crazy. Can't find it. How about volunteers?
Yeah, I think in our case, we hit a passion point with folks, right? That whether they like the history of fire trucks or they like working on old vehicles. So that part, and again, a lot of our folks are kind of maybe in that 50 to 80 demographic, many of them retired or semi-retired. So we have a little bit of a better, I think, a better way to capture those volunteers. And we've been blessed and fortunate by that. But yeah, I mean, let's face it, this whole issue of attracting workers and maintaining that, you see that all over the place.
Do you find your volunteer corps is made up of old goats like me that were first responders at some time in our life and associated ourselves with the fire service? You find those folks really wanting to be involved?
Right. So that's where some of the passion is. But for example, some of our actually long-standing mechanical restoration people started as Model T fanatics. And actually, the first couple came and said, we only do Model Ts. Well, I broadened them now to REO Speedwagons and to Buick engines, and they've been very, very helpful. Once they catch the bug, so to speak, in the passion, they kind of broaden their mission a bit. But we did a 1922 Model T restoration as our first truck at the beginning of COVID. That was one of the things that we said we're going to be very committed to. And it was just nice to have people who were passionate about Ford Model Ts help us out.
Have you got any American LaFrance and Ward LaFrance trucks?
Absolutely. Some of both, including Bay City trucks that come back from the 1950s with that classic 700 series design that Norman Rockwell made famous.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We had a caller ask if the Dobsons are still alive.
So Jim Dobson is still alive and very active. He is at our museum almost every Saturday helping to lead tours. So he's 93 years old. And is still very active in the museum as a board member. But obviously, we now have a comprehensive board of the foundation that's collectively doing the heavy lifting of maintaining, such a important and impactful collection.
Was there a Jenny Dobson?
His wife passed away many, many years ago.
Caller asked about that too.
Correct.
Yeah, well, when you see Mr. Dobson, you give him my best regards.
I definitely will, and we'll make sure that we get you out both to look at the Super Pumper and kick around at the new location.
You read my mind. I'll be calling.
No problem.
Oh, my goodness gracious. I tell you, I have a lot of fond memories of it. I was in the fire service for 7 years, and I have a ton of fond memories and some that weren't so fond. I'll have to tell you some stories sometime about some of the rescues I had to do because I was the smallest guy in the department.
Yeah.
Get into certain places.
Right. So just, one maybe final comment here is just everybody remember next week is Fire Prevention Week. And that memorializes the 150th anniversary of the Chicago fire. This year's theme is the sounds of fire safety. And it's all about understanding what your smoke alarm and what your carbon monoxide alarm do. It's a simple thing. Keep a battery in them. Make sure that when they activate, you get out of the house. It's a very simple obligation, but unfortunately, we still have a lot of people who have smoke and carbon monoxide alarms, and the batteries are removed.
Great way to end the show. Mike,
Thank you,
thanks
sir.
for hanging around.
All right.
And we will take our last break. Be back to close out. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I'm in.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code TIME for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code TIME for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TIME.
Ad paid for by CompleteCar.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty. COVID crisis, we are announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1985 now. Drivers who are covered by this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental car at no additional cost. Call for your free 800-549-1985. 800-549-1985. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-549-1985.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/find. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
You? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/find. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/find. That's ZipRecruiter.com/find.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW.
Last news on the hour, sponsored by Facet Wealth.
I'm Steve Kathan. The stage is set for Congress to pass a measure that would stave off a government shutdown this week, but it does little to solve the other major issues that have lawmakers at odds.
Today, the Senate will consider and pass a government funding bill and do our part to avoid a shutdown.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says once it's approved, it goes to the House. Also on their plate today, a vote on the president's infrastructure bill. Democratic leaders are struggling to strike a deal with progressives who have said they won't vote for that bill before reaching a deal on a spending package. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says despite that, the vote will. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
A Senate panel is investigating social media's impact on kids. Connecticut Democrat Richard Blumenthal.
We now know, while Facebook publicly denies that Instagram is deeply harmful for teens, privately, Facebook researchers and experts have been ringing the alarm for years.
For the third straight time, claims for unemployment benefits rose last week, up by 11,000, says Mark Hamrick of Bankrate.
This latest increase confounded hopes for improvement. It appears
in part by rising claims in California and Michigan.
Hyundai and Kia are recalling more than 500,000 cars and minivans. WWJ Radio's Jeff Gilbert says blinkers are on the blink.
You click on your turn signal to go right, and it tells other drivers you're going left. 550,000 Hyundai Sonatas and Kia Sedonas from the 15 to 17 model years have a software issue that can cause the turn signals to reverse themselves. No crashes or injuries have been reported.
Well, for some people, a major challenge in the pandemic has been a fear of needles. CBS's Jim Krasula says experts are working on that.
85% of adults and countless children are like James Todd.
I actually have needle phobia.
Researchers at the University of North Carolina are working on a patch that would provide vaccinations without needles.
It's pain-free and anxiety-free.
The patch could be more effective than a shot.
We have 100 to 1,000 times more of the targeted immune cells in the dermis of our skin than we do in our muscle.
Dr. Joe Simone is now at Stanford after spending 30 years at UNC.
In Germany today for several hours, a 96-year-old war crimes suspect was on the run. Irmgard Furchner did not show up for her trial, but was eventually arrested. She was a teen Nazi concentration camp. The Dow is down 169. This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth, personalized and affordable financial planning for everyday Americans. No wealth or asset minimums. Quality financial advice for every stage of your life.
RocketGrabPlus.com. The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are always here to give you the deals that you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Fat Matt's Barbecue, Joyce's Purple Palette, Kitchen Kings, Third Gen Tire and Service Center, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique. Off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
You can tell it's fall, huh?
Yeah, cooler days.
And leaves changing color.
Kitchen's becoming beautiful.
Yeah, kitchen's become... Wait, what was that?
Well, fall's the perfect time to upgrade our kitchen.
What makes you say that?
Our kitchen and the Wilsons.
Theirs is pretty spectacular. Who'd they hire again?
Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery.
Let Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center help you create the perfect space for your home, from imagination to completion. Go to premierkitchenandbathgallery.com to get started. Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom. Get inspired.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Research shows people remember radio ads that remind them of the past. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's an ad that'll really take you back.
Back in my day, they'll say, Liberty Mutual customizes my home insurance so I only pay for what I need. I'm getting on in years now, but heavens to Betsy, there are some things an old fella like me just never forgets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Partly cloudy skies and 62 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Perch. Further updates on the story of who was found by police dead in her home. They found the man wanted for questioning in the suspicious death of his wife around 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday. Officers were sent to the 3800 block of Lamplighter Drive to do a well-being check on a woman there. When they arrived, they found the woman, identified as 49-year-old Shantina Davenport Mitchell, dead in her home. Police say 43-year-old Lonnie Ray Mitchell Jr. was found in Flint this morning. They've arrested him and are seeking a warrant from the Saginaw County Prosecutor's Office. Detectives continue to investigate the victim's death. Alcohol and lack of seatbelt use during a crash have contributed to the death of a 36-year-old woman. Police say Judith Conaway of Farwell was heading south on Rogers Road in Sheridan Township around 11 a.m. in a Dodge Dakota. Conaway failed to stop at the intersection of Colinville Road and drove directly into the path of a Ford F-150 pickup. The collision caused the Dakota to roll into a ditch. Conaway was pronounced dead at the scene. The Ford driver was taken to Mid-Michigan Medical Center in Clare, where they're listed in stable condition. The crash remains under investigation. Saginaw Arts and Enrichment Commission will open its Art at the Anderson 2021 Fall Show with an exhibit featuring works by members of the Saginaw Artists, or SAWA. The exhibit starts October 5th and runs through the 14th. Called Transformations, the show will highlight more than 70 original works in watercolor, acrylic, and mixed media by SAWA member artists. Work on display reflect a moment of transformation or inspiration when a creative thought or idea motivated the artist to explore their creativity. The exhibit is free and open to the public. WSGW News Time 11:07.
Choose the proven performance of the Roundup Ready Extend crop system, featuring high-yielding Extend Flex soybeans and the exceptional weed control of XtendiMax herbicide with Vapor Grip technology. Elite genetic tolerance, flexibility that delivers results, backed by 25 years of innovation. That's the Roundup Ready Extend crop system, the system of choice. XtendiMax is a restricted-use pesticide. Always follow stewardship practices, all pesticide label directions, and check with your state pesticide regulatory agency for specific restrictions in your state.
They say if you listen hard enough, you can hear the corn grow. It's true. When you're out in the field, you understand its challenges and what it needs to thrive. Channel Seedsmen bring insights from the field to our team of Bayer plant breeders. Their knowledge inspires our product development. From your best ground to your most challenging conditions, our products are designed to perform in your field. Medicines.com to see our latest innovations. Always read and follow IRM where applicable, grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
WSGW News Time 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. The search for a missing teen up north has come to a sad ending. Michigan State Police Lieutenant John Grimshaw says they discovered the remains of 18-year-old Bryn Bills after getting a tip about a home in Alpena Township.
There was no one home at the time of the search warrant was executed. At approximately 3:30 p.m., human remains were found buried on the property, and they were believed to be Bryn Bills located on the deceased body.
Bills have been reported missing in early August. It's not clear how she died, but police say the death is suspicious. 34-year-old homeowner Joshua Wergau is in custody on unrelated charges. Detroit's making plans to provide COVID-19 booster vaccines for the Pfizer shot against the virus. That will be available at the TCF Center and other locations, according to Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan.
And we have 9 neighborhood-based walk-in locations. You can walk in at these 9 sites anytime and get your shot. You don't need an appointment. You can get your original vaccine or you need a booster or third shot.
Health officials say the city's vaccination rate is now at 45%. A registered nurse from southeastern Michigan has been arrested in the theft of COVID-19 vaccination record cards from a VA hospital. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Detroit says vaccine lot numbers were also stolen to make the cards appear legitimate before they were sold for $150 to $200 each. Beth Ann Kierchak of Southgate was charged Wednesday in federal compliance with theft of government property and theft or embezzlement related to a health care benefit program. A second Detroit area resident was also arrested Wednesday in a distribution of fake COVID-19 vaccination cards. Raphael Smiley of Detroit was charged with fraud. The fake cards allegedly were imported from China. WSGW News Time 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for today with a high in the low 70s. Winds will be rather calm. And then for tonight, mostly clear skies. We'll see a low around 49. Friday, sunshine, high around 76 degrees. Then by Saturday, plenty of blue skies and sunshine with a high around 77. Sunday, a chance for rain showers, high around 71 degrees. Then by Monday, mostly cloudy skies, a high of 67. Tuesday, partial sunshine, high of 66. And Wednesday, partly sunny, high around 67. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 59.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all All put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW at WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of Focus, brought to you by RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle replacement. Find out about RoofMax online at roofmax.com or call Ben at 859-6751. That's RoofMax with 2 X's. Coming to Midland is the 2021 edition of the Dow Tennis Classic, and with us this morning is Alex Mega to talk about the tournament. Alex, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. Thanks for having me.
That's all right. Thanks for being with us. Let's start, I think, with a little history of the tournament and how the pandemic impacted it.
Yeah, absolutely. So this year will be the 33rd year of the Tennis Classic. This event has been a staple in the Great Lakes Bay region Tennis Center for the last 32 years. We're so excited to be able to host it this fall. Obviously, as you know, a number of community events were impacted with the pandemic the last year and a half. The Tennis Classic was no different. We were very fortunate that we were able to host early in 2020. Previous dates were the end of January, beginning of February. So we were able to host the last Tennis Classic February of 2020, right before the pandemic hit. About this time last year, as a team, we came together to talk about the climate that we were in regards to COVID. Time to postpone the Tennis Classic to the fall of 2021, hoping that we would be in a better place as a community, as a state, and as a country. During that time, we did make the switch from a USTA event to a WTA event. And just with the WTA schedule, this early November time slot works really well. So we're excited to be able to host the Dow Tennis Classic the 1st through the 7th of November for this year and for years in the future.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the difference between having a WTA affiliation and a USTA affiliation.
Sure. So with the WTA, we are an elevated tournament. With that elevated tournament comes an increased purse. The purse this year for the players will be $115,000. As well as an elevated field. So the draw of players that we'll be getting will be a more competitive draw. The Tennis Classic has always been one of the premier events. We're really excited to host the same Tennis Classic that you guys know and love, but with an even better field and even stronger players coming to town this year.
All right, and again, it starts tomorrow, in effect. So we will, we will be. Amazed. I think we're all going to have to readjust now because it becomes. Is it going to stay a fall classic, by the way?
We are working through some of those details. Obviously, we are still being mindful of health and safety of the players, of the staff, and of the community as a whole. So there are some programs that might look a little bit different this year. Some reimagined programs, but it will look like the Tennis Classic that you guys have known and loved for a number of years.
All right. Hang on. We got to take a break and we'll be back. We're talking to Alex Mega. She is a tournament director at the Dow Tennis Classic coming to the Tennis Center in Midland. We'll tell you more about it when we return after these notes. And one of those notes has to do with our friends at Krizak's House Family Restaurant. Proud to be a business that serves this area with the finest in dining and takeout services, and grateful for all of you who have supported them. They look forward to serving all of you once again. Every day is takeout at Krizak's from 11 to 7, and Friday and Saturday from 11 to 8. Krizak's House Family Restaurant, corner of Cass in Michigan on Bay City's south side, open every day except Monday. For takeouts and reservations, parties, and events, call 894-5531. We'll be back with Alex after these notes.
Come on, come in, let the fun begin.
And
MichiganLottery.com, the one place you'll find exclusive games like Queen of Diamonds and Michigan Cash Draw, plus Powerball and Mega Millions that can reach $1 billion. Cash out online or at your favorite store, and all proceeds support Michigan schools and businesses. Get 100% match on your first deposit up to $100, plus free games. Sign up with promo code RADIO. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
So play on, Michigan, 'cause we are winning.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have make retiring easier and empower your retirement. They talk about how a well thought out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason Financial Empower Hour every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packed. Thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, I guess we'll try to make sense of it all. That is a very, very difficult job. We will have fun.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW. From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
Talking to Alex Mega. She is the tournament director for the Dow Tennis Classic, the Dow Tennis Classic coming to the Tennis Center in Midland starting tomorrow for the week. And Alex, because I know you from the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational, is this also an outlier managed event?
It is. Yeah, we're really excited as a team to be coming together and partnering with Dow and Greater Midland to put on the Dow Tennis Classic. So this will be our first year jumping in and helping out, similar to what we do for the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational.
So let's talk about the impact on the community. What does this do for Midland and the region?
Certainly. So, Art, you know that, any focus really is to impact the Great Lakes Bay region in a positive way. We're really excited with the Dow Tennis Classic. We're able to partner with over 120 local businesses and organizations. We have a number of partners, a number of restaurants, hotels, and just various vendors in the area that we work with. We bring in about 250 volunteers for the week, and we have over 7,000 people in attendance. So overall, we really try to focus on the good that we can do for Greater Midland as well as for the Great Lakes Bay region.
All right, let's talk about tickets, costs, and types of tickets available.
Certainly. So tickets start as low as $15 for general admission for adults. We're really excited. One of the changes for this year is we'll be welcoming juniors 17 and under at no cost to the tournament each of the days. Again, one of our big focuses is being able to provide a family-friendly event and a fun outing for families and friends to come out and gather. Tickets range from general admission all the way up to a premium box seat for the week that includes reserved parking and VIP dining. All of those tickets are on sale at Dow Tennis.
Has COVID impacted the way you have to conduct business?
It has, yes. For 18 months now, we really put, some contingency planning and scenario planning top of mind. As I mentioned earlier, the health and safety of the community and of the players that we're bringing into town really is a top priority for us. So we've taken a look at some of the programs that we've posted in the past and thought long and hard about how we can reimagine those programs where we can still host the Tennis Classic that you guys know the last couple of decades, but really do so in the safest manner. So some of those items, are going to be some of the special events that we do in terms of school visits, some of the dining that we'll do on site, some really fun ways to reimagine those programs and still keep them alive.
The tournament in the past, from the players assembled, has produced some pretty talented young women who have gone on to major events and major victories. We expect to see some of that talent again this year.
Yes, absolutely. We are currently having players commit. Anticipate that the field will be finalized in the next couple of weeks here. We're not quite ready to release any names, but as soon as we are, you'll be the first to know, Art.
And again, let's talk about the dates and when the tournament runs.
Certainly. So tickets will go on sale tomorrow. And the new dates of the Dow Tennis Classic will be the 1st through the 7th of November. We're looking forward to hosting that first week for this year and the next couple of years moving forward.
But tickets are on sale starting tomorrow, and the event itself starts November 1st.
Sure.
All right. Tell everybody where the tennis center is located.
Absolutely. The tennis center is located in Midland on Wackerly Road. You can find all of the details for tickets and parking as well as location at dowtennisclassic.com.
And other than the date change because of COVID, if someone who has been to the Tennis Classic in the past goes this year, are they really going to see much of a change?
We're hoping to be able to elevate the experience for all of our ticket holders, again, with some reimagined dining and some reimagined programs. But again, the Tennis Classic is going to be the same event that you guys have seen for the last 32 years. We're really just looking forward to providing an opportunity for friends and families to get together again after 18 months of kind of laying low and putting health and safety first. We're excited to be able to bring people out and show them a good time.
And approximately how many players will there be involved?
Absolutely. So our main draw for singles is going to be 32 players. We have a main draw doubles of 16 and then qualifying of 16 as well.
And the format is what?
We will be playing both main draw singles and doubles with eliminations happening each of the days leading up to Saturday, where we will play our finals for doubles. And Sunday, our featured match will be our singles final.
And like most tennis tournaments, this is single elimination. You play your first round, you lose, you're out.
Yes, sir.
Well, Alex, first of all, congratulations on assuming the directorship. I know her, and she'll do a great job. And we look forward to hearing more about the Dow Tennis Classic and some of the great players that we can all witness if we go visit them.
Sure.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, Alex. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Have a great day. Yep. Have a great day. Bye-bye now. Alex Maga, the tournament director for the Dow Tennis Classic. And 33 years. Boy, it's been going on a long time. We'll take our last break and be back to close out after these notes.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a Roof Max shingle treatment. Get more life for less money, guaranteed with RoofMax, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751. At Midland Furniture Garage, personal service and great design is everywhere and within all budgets. Our premium style, high quality furniture can be customized for maximum comfort. Discover our recliners, window treatments, sofas, and more by Stressless, Norwalk, Hunter Douglas, and others. Come into Midland Furniture Garage, Midland's creative source, and see what's possible for yourself. Midland Furniture Garage, 34 Ashman Circle in Midland, and online at Midland Furniture Garage.
Compromise is nice if you're at the playground or scouring yard sales. But farmers know better that middle grounds have no winner. That's why there's Revitec fungicide, fast-acting and long-lasting, preventative and curative, disease control and stress reduction. So leave the settling to little Tommy at the seesaw, an old bargain bill, and take your full prize in yields with Revitec fungicide for uncompromised performance. Always read and follow label directions.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years.
He was in big trouble.
We're going to take your house, garnish your pay.
Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm, and rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau.
I don't owe the IRS anymore. It was because of Optima Tax.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-682-9928. 800-682-9928.
Optima Tax Relief.
For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It all started some 36 years ago, and the tradition continues. Johnson's Giant Pumpkin Farm on North Portsmouth Road is ready for all ages. Whether it's your first picture with a pumpkin, a chance to see a farm animal, or maybe it's that 100th donut you're about to eat. A day at Johnson's Giant Pumpkin Farm is perfect fall family fun. 14-acre corn maze, or the little ones can tackle the soybean maze or the sunflower maze. The huge craft store is open with more vendors than ever. Mums, pumpkins, gourds, corn stalks, straw, and other fall decorations. A concession stand with plenty of seating all around the grounds. And of course, fresh donuts, fresh daily, cinnamon and sugar, plain or frosted, and special flavors on the weekends. Farm animals with acres and acres to wander. See the trebuchet, that huge pumpkin chucker in action on weekends, along with the kids' barrel train ride. Check out all the special events and rides every week by going to johnsonsgiantpumpkins.com or like them on Facebook. Located at 4715 North Portsmouth Road, 3 miles east of I-75 on the Caro exit. Open till Halloween. Oh, nuts.
And that'll do it for Focus, brought to you by RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out more about RoofMax at roofmax.com or call Ben at 859-6751. RoofMax with 2 X's. That'll do it for us. We'll be back tomorrow with more. Stick around now for the Farm Show with Farm Director Terry Henney.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week still on Rocket Grab Plus.